Hi, I'm Karissa, and I'm an OK housewife.
Hi, I'm Dacia, and I'm also a OK housewife.
And today we are going to be talking about technology, specifically with phones. This week, I kind of did my own social experiment with myself to see.
It's risky.
I was prompted to download this app called Be Present. Have you seen that?
Well, you sent it to me.
Okay. Yeah.
But I didn't go into it super deep at all.
Okay. Well, so this app, it gets you to download it for a week for a free trial, which is what I did.
Mm-hmm.
And it tries to tap into the things that make you feel rewarded when you're scrolling.
So it based on what your taps or how does it figure that out?
Yes. So it does know how often you are in your phone. So it's collecting time.
Right.
And after you're on your phone for an hour, it will pop a little thing on your screen
Mm-hmm.
and it'll say, "Hey, you've been on your phone for an hour." And just kind of alert you to it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, put it down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when you set up the app, you create these parameters. And so I said, okay, I don't want to do any app for more than 5 minutes at a time.
Okay.
So I did that with Instagram. And so after 5 minutes, which feels like 2 seconds.
Oh, yeah.
It'll pop up on the screen and it'll be like, "Hey, your time limit is up, closing the app in 30 seconds.
Oh.
Yeah. And so it'll make you hit this button that says, no, keep the app open.
Uh-huh.
And once you hit your time limit, your max time limit for the day,
Uh-huh.
you have to hit a button that says, "I'm begging you, please keep the app open."
Oh, my.
So it kind of makes you feel a little desperate when you get to that point.
Yeah, I would assume so.
Yeah. But when you actually are on a streak, as it calls it,
Uh-huh.
like today, I haven't been on Instagram maybe once.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
It'll be something will pop up and it'll be like, "Hey, you're on a hot streak."
You haven't gone
gone on
so many hours or
Yes.
whatever.
Yes.
Oh, see, that would entice me because I'd be like,
It's like a game.
yeah.
Yes. So again, you can set your own parameters, right?
Yeah.
So I made it 5 minutes. That may be a little tight. It
Right.
may need to be more like 10 minutes.
Yeah. And then go down as you go.
Right. But when you think of it in increments of 10, that's almost an hour on one app.
Right.
And so I felt like that was reasonable,
Yeah.
but apparently not.
Well, it's just blinds how much we
Oh,
spend
yeah.
on it.
Because the first day I had the app,
Mm-hmm.
I had my phone open apparently 6 hours.
Mm-hmm.
6 hours.
Yeah.
Now, that includes phone calls. That includes text messages. Anytime you open your phone.
Right.
It's counting that. But it will throw factoids at you while you're doing it.
Okay.
So it really tries to keep you engaged, wake you up.
Make you a very present. Be present.
Be present.
Of what you're doing, not just mind scrolling. What do they call it? Doom scrolling.
Zombie scrolling. Zombie scrolling. Yes. So it was really interesting to have that this week. And obviously for the purposes of this podcast, I looked up some of the stats as far as how much we really do spend on our phones.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just when you think of it in hours, and when you think of for me personally, I think an instrument.
Yeah.
If you spent that amount of time learning a new instrument, you would have it down.
Right. This goes back to you and your
productivity problem. Yes. So I'm trying to give myself some grace, but this is true for anything.
Right.
You could be master of anything. This is the difference between mediocre.
That's a perfect way of putting it. And being an expert.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, if you want a mediocre life. I mean, I don't know.
Well, I mean, I think you're right. I think that's right.
Right?
That's a fair way to put it. It's harsh, but fair.
It is. If you want to rise above mediocrity.
Yeah.
Did I say that right?
Mediocrity, yeah.
Yeah. Then the phones are going to have to close.
Yes.
That's the bottom line here. And that's kind of what I'm preaching to, because the average American, and this is from a Harmony Healthcare IT company.
Mm-hmm.
I found this data like on several websites.
Okay.
And so I went ahead and rolled with this.
Yeah.
Average American spends 5 hours and 16 minutes on their phone per day. Now that includes phone calls, that includes text messages, right? Gen Z, 6 hours and 27 minutes.
Hold on. What are we?
We're millennials.
Okay.
Barely. We're like
right on the cusp.
Like Gen X, millennial-ish.
So there's Gen X, Gen Z, millennial. How does it go? Gen X,
millennials, Gen Z.
Okay, so Gen Z is the one right below us.
Correct.
They're at 6.
Yes.
Okay, and then
6 hours and 27 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Millennials are 5 hours and 28 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Gen X, 4 hours and 48 minutes. Which you talked about how Toby doesn't get on his phone nearly as much.
No, when he gets, on Sundays, they send you that, which I try and delete it as fast as I possibly can. Don't
look at it.
Yeah, I mean, the other day he was like, ooh, I was under an hour. And I was like, under an hour?
Yes. Kevin is kind of the same way.
It's so impressive. And it makes me feel like a real crap human being, honestly.
Same. I'm like, wow, I am like a deadbeat whenever I see my number, right?
Mm-hmm.
So so the Gen Xers are definitely less, and both of our husbands are Gen Xers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're a little bit old.
A little bit older. Baby boomers, this is interesting. They're only 30 minutes less than Gen Xers. Baby boomers are 4 hours and 19 minutes.
I swear, my mom was on that thing all the time. Like, I would want to rip that thing out of her hand. So that doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, they're always on like Facebook.
Yeah, and it's just this. I wish you could see us.
Scroll,
like we're doing like the big scroll. Yeah, and it is always Facebook.
Always Facebook.
Yeah.
So I think my dad changes his profile like every 3 days, his profile picture. So, yeah.
Thanks for listening, Alan.
Which we know he's not, or I would hear about it.
Yeah.
53% of Americans want to cut down on their phone usage in 2025.
Yeah.
That's 33% more Americans than in 2023.
I think that we're realizing. I think it's just been like
the
a
damage.
progression. Yeah. And I've noticed, like, I feel like I can somehow feel like the dopamine hits. Like, it's so unconscious how much I grab my phone.
Yeah.
And click certain apps.
Yeah.
Like, it's not even a thought process.
No, it's like an appendage now.
Yes. And it makes me sick.
It makes me sick too. And so it's like, how do we break that, right? Like, how do we stop doing that? And I've tried to really kind of practice with myself this week and manipulate myself.
Mm-hmm.
And I think for me personally, the best method is to only allow me to get on apps during certain time periods during the day.
Yeah.
So like, I always look at my phone first thing in the morning.
I know, me too.
It's just kind of my thing.
I know.
So I don't think that's going to break, right?
Yeah, because I can't imagine what else I'm going to do. Because I sit and drink my coffee.
Me too.
What am I going to do, stare at the wall?
I know. And it's like, should I be...
What did we do before?
I don't know.
I don't either.
I've never watched the news.
No.
Maybe we would read articles on our phone or like...
We're still on our phone.
I know, but like it's not like Instagram. It's not zombie scrolling.
That's
We're actually learning something.
It's a step in the right direction.
It totally is.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know what we would do before. Would we turn on the TV and watch a show or something?
That feels
awkward.
So weird. I can't. If I turn on the phone in the morning, people would be like, "What's going on?"
Is there something going on?
That's what's crazy is I remember when I stayed home with Tucker.
Yeah.
Like my TV was always on.
Right.
And it wasn't for like I would turn the Today Show on in the morning.
Yes, we'd watch the Today Show. Yes. There you go.
Yeah.
But I mean that's like
I guess that is on when I wake up.
And that's a good thing to like drink your coffee too. You know what I mean? Like
like
they have fun things.
I just hate the news. I don't want to
I do too. I don't want to hear anything about current events.
No. But then it was just like, I just remember it'd be on while I was cooking dinner and like it would be in the background. And now Our TV's never on.
Ours isn't either because I don't want the commercials playing if it's a live thing. And I used to like watch E! News while I would cook dinner every night.
You can't really do that with kids.
You can't do that with kids.
No.
So it's like...
Well, and like my kids are doing like... They're either on their screen, like on an iPad or on a video game, or they're upstairs wrestling or playing basketball. Ping pong. Yeah. And I just don't... If I have the TV on, I'm watching a show. Like I'm sitting down while I'm scrolling.
While you're scrolling?
Yeah.
I don't watch a show now without my phone in my hand.
What is wrong with us?
I don't know. And what's crazy is that when I go to a movie now... When was the last time you went to a movie?
Saturday.
Okay. Wasn't that movie great? Wasn't it great?
Yes.
Why?
Because I didn't have my phone.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. I go watch a movie in a theater. And I mean, I will fully admit that before phones were even an issue, I used to have a problem sitting still to watch a movie. Like I'd get up multiple times.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I need popcorn or whatever. You know, like I would just do something to keep myself busy.
Right.
But like when I go to a movie now and I can't have my phone open and I watch something, it's an enriching experience.
Well, and I remember everything about it.
That too.
Versus when I watch a show and then it's over and I'm like,
yeah,
what happened?
Kevin doesn't do that.
No, Toby doesn't.
He doesn't look at his phone. So is it a girl thing or is it a generation thing?
Yeah. And also maybe a personality
Could
thing,
be.
because I mean, I know that there are lots of men that are like, you know, big. I also find that like a red flag. If I was like, let's say if I was a single person, like, and I was looking for somebody,
right?
And like I met a guy and that guy was like super into social media and stuff, like
it would be a turnoff.
Beyond.
Right. So how is it that like we get away with it?
Somehow we're like very much addicted. That's the thing. It's a very much of an addiction. And I think now that I've recognized it, I'm like, okay, well now it's just me being ridiculous to not break that. If I have any other addiction in my life, I'm going to work to break it.
Yeah.
And this is one I'm like, But I do, like, I even think about how many hours are we even awake? So let's say if we're in the 6th hour, we're only awake 12 hours. Well,
I think we're more like 15, 16.
Yeah. So half, almost, or like 40% of your day.
A third, for sure.
Is on a screen.
Is looking at a screen. Mm-hmm. They say that if you continue at that, guess how many years you've spent?
Please don't tell me.
12 years on your phone. Yeah.
That makes me want to throw up.
It makes me want to throw up too. What a waste.
What a waste. And like, for what? To watch people that you kind of don't even care about their life?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh man, we got to change that.
I know. So this is a call to action, right? So
you should still listen to podcasts.
But one of the things with this podcast is we try to make it as short as possible, like 20 minutes, which we're probably getting close to.
That way you can just listen to it while you're driving.
Yes.
And you're not staring at a screen.
Exactly.
It's like listening to the radio.
Or when you're like taking a walk.
Yes.
Or something like, hey, I'm going to do 20 minutes on the treadmill or whatever. Like you can listen to something and hopefully we're giving people like knowledge and it's worth your time,
right?
You know,
or just some form of entertainment that isn't mindless.
Yeah. Exactly. So so it's like, what do? Okay. So what I did is I said, okay, between 8 and 9, you can look at your phone.
Okay. Because that's like when you're in,
that's
like when you're drinking your coffee.
Drinking my coffee, I'm waking up for the day, blah, blah, blah.
And the kids are kind of occupied. They're doing their little thing.
Yes. Mm-hmm. My kids, role modeled, right? My kids will have breakfast and they'll watch a show or two while I'm in there drinking my coffee, scrolling.
Okay.
So 8 to 9, I do that. All right. Then I look at it again from 5 to 6.
That's a long time.
I know.
That's a long time.
It is a long time.
Did you find yourself like going to like almost try and pick it up?
Yes.
Okay.
But I have found that those are my 2 weak spots anyway.
So you might as well give in a little bit.
Give myself the time, right? Give myself that hour. Mm-hmm. And that's 2 hours a day.
Yeah, which
is still too much.
Yeah.
But
it's significantly better.
Yes, significantly better. At least I'm giving myself that time period. And then, we eat dinner. Sometimes we eat dinner together. Sometimes we don't. It depends on when Kevin gets home. But I have found my frustration level during bedtime routine
much lower.
50%.
Wow.
Because I'm less irritated.
And it's not like a mindful irritated, like, oh, I want to get back to my phone. But it's doing something to our brains where if we're not being like...
I'm in a fog.
Yes.
I'm in a fog. And then I get startled out of my fog by my kid doing something, kids. And then I'm like,
Wow.
And it's not good.
No, and I do it all the time. I see myself do it. And when my kids walk in, like, how much is my head down staring at a phone?
Yep. So I would just encourage everyone. That seemed to work well for me.
Yeah.
So if you give yourself that time period, and I know depending on what we're doing in the evenings and stuff, it's oh, I want to post this or whatever. Wait till your window.
Yeah.
It's not that hard to do.
Agreed.
Yeah.
No one is that desperate to know what you're doing either.
No one cares that
absolutely nobody cares.
Nobody cares that much, which is a sad reality too, but that is the truth.
Well, the fact that we think that anybody really cares about, besides immediate family or very close friends,
right.
I mean, it's kind of narcissistic.
It's very narcissistic.
Wouldn't you love to see what we looked like on Easter? You weren't there. How would you know about my beautiful blue dress?
Yes. And wouldn't you love to see, what I did last night?
Yeah.
How'd you know I was alive?
It was so great. And what did you do? Sit in your bed with your Oreos? It's so ridiculous.
The thought of it is just so...
When you step back.
Yes. When you do an aerial view of what we do on the daily, it's just who do you think you are?
Oh,
I
don't like who I am.
Well,
not right this moment.
We always want to be striving to improve.
Agreed.
That's the goal, right?
So say what the app is called again. Be present.
Be present.
This is not an ad because...
No, obviously we're not sponsored in anything, but...
Maybe one day.
One day. We're counting on it.
We are.
Yep.
And I would like to, because I'm going to download it.
Yes. Just do the free trial for a week.
Just to kind of get
your feet
I already
wet.
know. It's...
Yeah.
It's like my weight. I would never tell my number. I would never say my time on my phone number.
I probably wouldn't either. I don't know. I try to be vulnerable as much as I can because that's actually one of my weaknesses. Mm-hmm. That's one of our personality weaknesses is vulnerability.
Yeah, that's probably true.
You have to be intentional with it.
Yeah.
To kind of break that.
That's true.
But if that isn't enough reason to cut back on screen time, I have some stats on what it does to your body.
Oh, God. This is fun.
I know. Okay. So it strains your eyes 41% more.
I need help with that.
Yep. 34% more neck pain and shoulder pain. 30% more headaches.
Oh, my.
These are phone-related health issues.
I mean, the fact that we have a classification like that.
It's...
Wow.
I know. 28% of decreased sleep, so insomnia.
Yeah.
Increases insomnia by 28%.
Mm-hmm.
And here's the biggie.
It's going to be weight gain.
Nope.
Oh.
Anxiety.
Oh,
You have 20% more anxiety when we look at our phones.
Yeah, that's not even... I'm actually, that feels low.
It does feel low. Yeah. And it says 4 in 5 phone addicts wish they weren't as reliant.
Phone addicts. Are we going to have an AA soon?
It would be a PA? A PA group. Oh, no, Phone Addicts Anonymous, PAA.
PAA.
Yeah, we're going to create a PAA group.
But I mean, realistically, if we don't as a society do something,
intervene,
then yeah.
Yeah, they're actually doing a class at my church.
About phone addiction?
Yeah, and proper usage with your children.
We have really gone off the rails.
I know. But hey, you know what? If somebody told me they were addicted to a phone and that was I don't know, replacing alcohol, I kind of think that would be a little better.
Yeah.
you know?
Like to be addicted to your phone instead of alcohol?
Yeah.
Well, yes.
You know, so I mean, what it is it's a shift.
Yeah.
We've shifted in society.
Mm-hmm.
It's no longer, entertainment is no longer going and drinking ourselves to a silly or whatever, which do I think that alcoholism is a disease? Yes, I do. But I think that, you know, it's a slippery slope.
Yeah.
Right?
And a lot of times, like, it can be shifted into something different.
Exactly.
It's not always just alcohol.
Some people have very addictive personalities.
Yeah. I have a very addictive personality.
Yeah. I have like a fear of addiction. So if I do anything too many times, I stop doing it because I just like get scared. Why are you laughing?
I mean, it's so self-aware. I love it. Okay. It's just funny to me.
Except making my bed. I am addicted to making my bed. I'll do that.
And you ain't gonna change that.
Nope, ain't gonna change.
Because that's a high percentage of becoming a millionaire.
It is 300% more 300%. Likely. So you should do that.
Yep.
81% of people think that phones should be banned at high schools.
I'm in that percentage.
Yeah.
There's no reason. And I can't stand that there are people that defend it. So yeah. Sorry if you're one of them.
I agree. 55% think that college and universities should ban them during class.
I mean, I don't know about that. Most of them are legal adults.
Right. So you can't really control it.
And the other thing is they're paying for it. So like if you want to waste your money and go to college and
check out.
Yeah. Then like, I mean, you're an idiot.
Right.
So
it's true.
But I do think setting them up for success by banning them in high school
will help that.
Yeah. And they get into a routine because I can't even tell you how many days Tucker is texting me during the day at school, which granted, my son has no internet on his phone. He can only look at photos and videos that like are filtered.
Okay.
And he can text and call. And yet, you know, and one day he took a picture of the class in the middle of the day. Every single kid
was on their phone. Get out.
It's ridiculous. And here's the thing. I'm not blaming teachers.
Oh, no. It's parents.
It's parents.
We're the problem. Parents are the problem.
Well, and the fact that parents push back against school districts that try. I mean, what school district just came out that next year they won't allow phones?
I don't know. Was it Edmond?
It's a big one. I can't remember. Is it Mustang or Moore?
I don't know.
I could be wrong. But one of them, it's a 6A school here in Oklahoma. And they will ban. And I can't tell you how many people I heard saying, well, what are they going to do in emergency? Exactly what they did in 1990, Karen. Like, the thing is they've
dial it up.
Well, and here's the deal. They have proven in school shootings that kids having phones, I'm sure that there are some pluses to it, but it actually is negative because then you have parents rushing to the school.
Out.
Yep. And getting in the way of them trying to lock it down.
Yeah. Teachers have phones. That should be enough.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And if I remember how many times walking to the office to pick up a phone call from Deb.
Heck yeah.
Or to call her and be like, come pick me up.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, I know. I agree with that. And I think that it should be in high school, definitely, because it has to be affecting them, you know?
Well, yeah.
It says that on average, people think 14 is an appropriate age to get a smartphone. And then average time that people spend on their phones while they're at work is 3 hours. So
that's low.
That is low, but that's a major productivity thing, you know?
Well, yeah. I mean, if you're an employer, how many hours of that are being stolen from you?
I mean, 3 to 4, so almost half a day. If you include lunch.
Well, yeah. I mean, besides people just having accountability for themselves, there's no way for you to monitor that. Like you can't be like, I mean, I guess you could in some situations, like the government, like take their phone up,
but like, what is that going to look like in 10 years when a newer generation comes into the working force, like into the workforce?
I have no idea.
It's going to be kind of crazy. You know what I mean? Especially from us on the receiving end. I worry about, honestly, customer service. Like, what is that going to look like 10 years from now when we're struggling with it now already?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, let me get a couple more stats. So 48% of people have found themselves zombie scrolling, which Zombie scrolling is when you scroll on your phone out of habit without a specific purpose for opening or using it.
Oh, so every time I grab my phone, cool.
Basically. Yeah. Without a specific purpose. Like when you're texting or doing something like that.
Well, yeah.
That's a purpose.
It's a very small percentage.
I appreciate your honesty.
Did you know there is a thing on your phone that will tell you how many times you pick up your phone?
Yes.
Oh my.
Do you know what the average is? I have that stat too.
Oh no. What is it?
144 times.
Oh my Lanta.
Do you know how many times we open up the fridge a day? 22. So if that gives you any comparison. 144 times on average, people open their phones. Yeah. And the apps, and I'll end with this because we're already at our time and we don't want to take up your precious time. But the number one apps, YouTube is actually second out of the social medias. But YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and Reddit and X are obviously the top apps that people use when they're on their phones. So yeah, Gen Z spends the most screen time on TikTok, followed by YouTube. So the younger generation is using obviously TikTok the most, as we well know. Yeah. But social media apps make up 6 out of the 10 most common apps that people use. So it's like, what do? Delete the app? I don't know. We all want to be on them, right? But I think if you figure out your windows.
I think so too. Because cold turkey rarely works.
It rarely works. Yeah. So find your window.
Yep.
Restrict yourself. And I think you'll find that you will enjoy the day so much more.
Maybe you and I we'll both try this and we'll come back in like a month and we'll maybe
see where we're at.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. So we hope you have a great week. We'll talk to you soon.